Hey everybody, Brimstone here. These days, comics aren't easy to pick. You go up to the racks, you see DC, Marvel, a slew of indie comics from other publishers and everything, and you're just not sure where to begin. Trust me, I know it's a daunting process. Not everybody wants to sit there and do research online. YouTube really helps with this. So I figured I'm going to toss my hat in the ring. I have been back to reading and collecting comics for 5 years now, slowly gathering what collection that I've lost and adding some new ones to the list. But in this video, I wanted to come at you with my top 5 off the rack comics you can walk into your comic shop right now and get. Some runs are done, some runs are still going, and still early on enough where you won't get too far left behind and it won't hurt your wallet. But before we get into this list, if you like what you're hearing, want to hear low pop culture news and stuff that might not hit the larger channels, comic reviews, and other random little things that I think are cool that might be brought to your attention, hit that like, hit that sub button, share this video out there. And yeah, let's get into this top 5 list. Number 5 on this list, because we're going to build up to it, is Event Horizon Dark Descent. Now, I heard about this comic about 3 months before it launched, and I was honestly really excited for this. This is a prequel comic for the movie Event Horizon, the sci-fi horror cult classic that is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen it, you definitely should. But this comic covers a prequel based on the movie, and it is about the first crew of the Event Horizon. The writers and artists of this worked closely with the original creators of the movie to make this an absolutely fantastic comic. It does a lot of very graphic imagery. It is definitely not a child's comic. It is a horror comic that lives up to its name in every way possible. If you have seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If not, I would not let my children read this. This is definitely violent and bloody and graphic and sexy and all that stuff. And it does a lot of dark imagery, but it's still very good read. They are coming out with a second one called Darker Event Horizon Inferno, and that comes out in a couple months, and there will be reviews of that. But yeah, definitely, if you're into horror comics and into Event Horizon, definitely check out this book. It's a 5-issue run. You can get it right off your local comic shop rack right now. But yeah, definitely worth the read. Number 4 on my list is Spider-Man 94. Now, why Spider-Man 94? This comic is a sequel, continuation, like X-Men 97 was, to Spider-Man 94. This comic wraps up the series, does a very nice job with it, and is absolutely fantastic in writing. It does stumble a little bit, though. I'd recommend that if you want to read this comic, you get the first issue and you read it. The art is very weird at some point. It doesn't mirror the television show's art. It tries to do its own thing. And while that's good and it's not horrible, it's very off-putting because the writing matches the show and does a very good job of it. So if you want to check out a comic book from your childhood that wraps up a very incomplete story where they left off with a hell of a cliffhanger, Spider-Man 94 is your book if you're a fan of that. But yeah, again, buy the first issue, or better yet, wait for the trade paperback and just read the whole thing, because I'm sure it'll be out eventually. At number 3, we have Disney's Gargoyles Demona. Now, I managed to stumble across this while walking across and perusing the shelves for something to catch my eye that I think could be an interesting read. And I passed this up till something actually did catch my eye about it. And that is this right here. It is written by Greg Weisman. Now, that's important because Greg Weisman is the original creator of Gargoyles, the animated series. And Gargoyles, the animated series, is one of the greatest cartoons ever made. Beginning to end, it managed to do some absolutely phenomenal enchanting storytelling that drew you in and kept you going from episode to episode to episode. And the series ended. It had a good ending. But this is what makes this as good is this is about Demona and her going through time. This is a 5-issue series, and it's got a 6 special edition winter special. Look at that cover. You got Brooklyn, you got Bronx, and you got Elisa right there down on the bottom. Absolutely fantastic. And this run itself covers Demona across the ages. You know, we got her right there. We got her right there in samurai gear. We got her there. But this is absolutely fantastic because that, with Greg Weisman writing this comic, this makes this canon to the Gargoyles lore. And that is fantastic because Gargoyles needs far more love than it gets. But yeah, if you like Gargoyles, if you like fantasy storytelling, go out, get this at your local comic shop. Everything lines up. It is an absolutely fun read. Check it out. Number 2 on this list is The Phantom by Mad Cave Comics. Now, I saw this pop up in my League of Comic Geeks feed, and I'm like, there's another Phantom run? I have to get it. And apparently, my local comic shop drastically underestimated how many people would want this comic and was a week behind on ordering. But these is a 5-issue run about the ghost who walks. It is a back to basics comic. Superhero do superhero not even superhero. Hero do superhero things, saving people in a village from his arch nemesis. You can't get more basics than this comic. This cover is also done by, these covers are also done by the great Kanan White. If you don't know who Kanan White is, highly recommend you check him out. Fantastic artist. But this is what you want from a comic book these days. This is just a fun read. And the best part is, while this specific run is done, we are getting another one called The Phantom versus the Sky Band. And I honestly cannot wait for it, because if they're any good as this, they're going to be just as good as this one. Because honestly, they're the same artists, they're the same writers, they're the same everything. And this was a great run. You can walk into your local comic shop right now, pull all 5 of these issues off the rack at a mighty $4 a piece, I believe they were. At a mighty $4, maybe $5 a piece. Or you can wait for the trade paperback to come out in a few months. Either way, I recommend that anybody read this comic if you're a comic enjoyer. It is absolutely fantastic. So, last, number 1, which should be nobody's surprise if they have watched this channel for any amount of time. Battle Beast. This comic has me rushing to the comic store to get it the day it comes out so I could read it. When I read the first issue, my first words when I got to the end of it were, holy shit. And then when I got to the end of the 6 issues, there was an even louder holy shit. The series is fantastic. It ties directly into the Invincible universe, but you don't have to be an Invincible expert to understand it. You can watch the show and still enjoy this book. This comic is every bit, it's the show on steroids, because while the show has to tame down the violence, this doesn't. Battle Beast is a hyper-violent thing, and it is absolutely fantastic to read. And it actually has a lot of really good dialogue between the prince and the ship's computer, and we need more of this. I love this comic. This comic is so much fun. I love going out and reading it. I love sitting down and reading it when I get home. But, and you know, I get it. Back issues are a lot. That's a lot of money. That's $4 a comic book. There's $32 right there in comic books. But lucky for you, they also have a trade paperback. This was $15 US. Absolutely fantastic. Covers everything, even has, you know, some Invincible stuff in the back to, you know, people to check out. Capes, and the Wolfman is definitely something I'm going to get. But yeah, I plan on reading more of this Invincible universe going forward, because yeah, but if you don't want to read those, wait for the trade paperback. You'll have to wait about 6 months for these, because these you have to wait for the run to finish for them to do it. But yeah, Battle Beast is absolutely something you should be checking out of your local comic shop if you're just getting back into reading comics. Those are my top 5 off-the-rack comics that you're going to want to read. Now, I do pull more comics off the rack, but these are the ones that I actually thought I should bring to your attention. A nice variety of comics that everybody can read and enjoy and check out. But I don't know, do you think they're worth checking out? Are you going to check them out based on my recommendation? Let me know in the comments below. But thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. If you made it this far, hit that like, hit that sub button, share this video out there, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and happy reading.